I think it's going to be super fun to play against Mad Lions again because, for one, they have Carzzy coming back, my old ADC, and Hylissang, of course. I think they're going to be crazy bot lane. So it's going to be really fun, and in general, just like trying to beat them, my former team, I guess, making sure that I'm better than them, right, and proving that to myself. I don't think there's like much bad blood. Of course, we had like our differences, right? I mean, that's why we parted ways. But I think it's not really like personal. I just want to beat them because I played with them for like 2 years. Of course, we were like really good friends as well, right? So it's just like healthy competition, I guess, right? And even more so with Mad Lions, of course, because this was my only LEC team.
It is the Mad Lions!
I'm a bit attached to them, right? And of course, I want to just beat them and stomp them to the ground.
Kaiser wants to stomp them into the ground, Vedius. That's all he said. He didn't say anything nice about them. Yeah, just wants to stomp them into the ground. A lot of storylines in this game, though.
Yeah,
Do you want to just quickly run through them now? So
okay, go on then. Run through them all.
Kaiser versus his former team, the 2 Korean import top laners, the old king of the jungle versus maybe the new king of the jungle.
The prince of the jungle, perhaps.
No, because Prince plays bot lane, doesn't he?
Oh my god, I hate you. Yes, there are indeed a lot of interesting narratives we can come to expect from this game, but at the end of the day, what we really care about is the gameplay.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm gonna be honest, Medic. Mad have looked cleaner.
They really have.
Than Vitality have.
Yeah.
You know, you do have to take into consideration the opposition.
True.
They've been going up against, but Vitality, it feels like that in game 1 they kind of snatched that victory away from Fnatic. Game 2 was very back and forth, very tense, and while we did see some highlight moments for sure, I feel like that we haven't seen a clean, convincing, dominant game from Vitality as of yet. Whereas Mad, game 1, God,
against SK, they were very clean.
They looked very, very dominant. And then game 2, I think we saw the exact same thing where overall I've just been very impressed. Like Nisqy's Akali yesterday, you know, like
it was good scoreline. There were a couple of foibles, a couple of errors.
But for sure, Elyoya is definitely the player that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on. Elyoya versus Bo. Elyoya has been touted as, if not the best, one of the best junglers in the LEC for the last year. The man is incredibly talented, and he's going to be going up against Bo, the up-and-comer, the man who is so far undefeated in major regions. 12-0, I believe, is the scoreline.
12-0 in pro play,
Yep, and it's going to be an interesting jungle matchup because we know that both junglers are willing to be aggressive. They're both very smart about their pathing on the map. And Vitality feeling good. Perkz may very well get his first ever 3-0 with Vitality.
It would be impressive if he can. Let's wait for the players to get out onto the stage. Mad Lions versus Vitality. Sure Nisqy booed as raised out the 2 are coming out there. Already the mental warfare has begun between the 2 teams. We heard Perkz saying yesterday, just type cringe. When he 1v1s, you just type cringe in the chat, it works. For the moment though, both these teams getting ready for our final game of week 1. After this game, we are a third of the way through the regular season of the LEC, a third of the way towards those best of 3 group stages, a third of the way towards the playoffs as well. Only the top 4 teams making it, but that's a long way away. For now, let's focus in on this narrative-filled game.
Let's see what they prioritize in the draft. We've been seeing some interesting stuff throughout the day, a bit of variation in Europe compared to the rest of the world. The bans often stay the same, I will say. Things like Lucian consistently removed from the pool. We often see Caitlyn, Yuumi, Heimerdinger has been a very prominent one. So I don't really expect a huge amount of flexibility there. It's mainly just what the priorities end up being, where we do see a little bit of variation. Let's have a look. Jax being removed, not that surprising when Photon so far has 2 games on the Jax so far this split. The Maokai being taken away, we saw some of the power of Maokai last game. Sejuani also being taken out of the champion pool options. Ryze being focused toward Nisqy. We know that he's a heavy roam-style mid-lane player. Not really too surprising that teams are pretty consistently banned this champion away from him. And so far in the bans, as we kind of said, nothing too surprising and unexpected coming out from either side.
I wonder if we'll see the cat removed from the possibilities of being played. I think it's got through a couple of times today, but always makes the game a little bit more exciting, especially when you have two of the best engaged supports in the league in a game.
True.
I like it when they get to play engaged supports. So far, Hylissang has not really had that option, Thresh and Nami. Kaiser has brought out the Braum and the Leona. There is the Yuumi being taken away from any possibility, and that Lucian Nami an option here for MAD Lions.
I would say it's pretty much guaranteed lock-in.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if we saw, well, this.
Yeah,
this is what would surprise me.
Well, it's happened. Be shocked,
I am
Vedi.
surprised.
Yep, okay.
Let's see what they choose to pair up with this. So far, this split, we've seen Kaiser on Braum, and we've seen him on Leona. And one of my comments was going to be, perhaps they're open to leaving this Lucian Nami open because they have something unique prepared. Maybe they're going to go for something like a Leona or a Rakan or a Thresh themselves. But no, they're actually just going to deny the Nami. Let's see what they choose to pair up with it. And what will MAD Lions bot lane now do? Will we actually get to see... No, don't. Oh, I'm sad. Hilly's Rakan is one of my favorite Rakans in the world. He is constantly hyper-aggressive and a very talented player, but instead decided to go for the Lulu. A little bit more of the defensive option. Can still be quite aggressive in the straight-up 2 versus 2, but not quite to the same potency as when compared to the Nami in the bot lane.
And Nami Ezreal still very strong. Neon's Ezreal, we saw in the first game, I believe, that the Vitality played this split. He's very proficient at the champion. Bo playing his 3rd different champion as well here in Winter. The Vi coming out for him. So far, he's had one supportive in the Sejuani, one aggressive or one carry jungler in the form of Graves, and now Vi a little bit more on the supportive side, I would say, although I have seen some lethality Vi's in solo queue that can one-shot you with Eclipse. Expect.
Personal experience there, buddy?
Yeah, it's not the most fun. You know, you're walking around, you're playing with Khan, and you just get ceased and desisted.
Yep, I have heard of that happening to you specifically.
Yeah.
Renekton being removed from the pool, again, like, it doesn't take much research. You can literally just, look at last champions that these players have played, and oh, look, Renekton's there. Maybe we'll see a Fiora ban too. And then all of the champions that Chasy has played so far this split will have been removed. We're definitely going to see something new from Photon today. The Syndra being taken away from Perkz. For those who don't know, Perkz has played a lot of League of Legends for many years, and Syndra was one of his, favorite champions. Yeah. Even when he was playing AD carry. This was the pick that he brought out against T1 to secure them that Game 5 at MSI. And it's something that worldwide people respect when he gets his hands on it. We know how strong the champion is right now, even though so far in the LEC yet to win a game. Yeah. But we're not going to see it win one this time around. Cassidy being taken away from the side of Vitality, which does mean that a lot of mid lane is still up and available. Gwen being removed. This suggests. Let me have a think through some of the top lane champions. Typically, we've been seeing it into a decent amount of Jax. What other champions? Maybe Camille. That'd be a little bit surprising if you wanted to pick that blind.
You have already been surprised once in this draft, so maybe a second surprise is
true.
in order.
I'm still thinking about this Jace. I think Jace is still very strong in the current meta. Cassante. Yes, I have heard about Gwen being a good answer into the Cassante. The fact that they would then ban it away makes it very easy for Vitality to go in that direction. Want to remind people, of course, only has 1 win so far in the LEC, 6 losses. So in terms of the win rate, not looking great. But we'll see if Photon can make some magic happen. Even though I think the champion hasn't really done anything wrong.
Yeah,
I feel like
been on the losing side of a lot of battles.
I feel like that the champion itself has been incredibly dominant. We've seen it do some crazy stuff. MAD Lions, though, working ever closer to a pretty much straightforward front-to-back teamfight composition. Their engage isn't the most reliable, but they do still have the Wukong. Not going to go for the wombo combo with the Orianna, but Viktor still offering that same amount of teamfight utility, along with strong wave clear, and overall just a safe champion that scales very well.
Yeah, great zone control as well. MAD Lions in teamfights have a lot of areas that you want to avoid. You know, the Mega Gnar ulting you into a wall, the Chaos Storm coming down, the Gravity Field, Lucian just generally, and then obviously Wukong with the Cyclone. Vitality, on the other hand, bigger pushing mid. The Azir, something that Perkz is also quite well known for. I think it's Ryze, Azir, and Syndra at the 3, right? And they have a lot of pick potential here and a bit more range, I would say, with the Ezreal down towards that bottom side. But of course, Lucian later on in the game does scale incredibly effectively, especially if you want to grab yourself something like, a rapid fire cannon, dash forward, do a ton of damage with the Light Slinger passive and the Lulu buffing you up as well.
I would say one of Vitality's big strengths is their disengage.
Yeah.
They've got Azir wall, they've got Nami ultimate, and basically they've got a lot of range at their disposal. When you look at Mad Lions compositions, it is on the shorter range side. Not to say that they have no range whatsoever, but it's something that Vitality, if, for example, they gain access to the river first, they can leverage that to chip away at their opposition before they can really find that good fight. So a lot of pressure is going to fall on Elyoya to find those creative engages, find those flanks, those avenues onto the backline, and create a little bit more chaos in the team fight.
It's something Vitality did really well against Heretics yesterday as well. The Sejuani and the Braum just being that front line that you could never work your way through. Jack Spectre on the Callisto was trying to dance around. It's like, well, you just can't get close enough to our carries. They just chip you away. And in the end, Vitality were able to pick up that win yesterday. Both these teams still undefeated. One of them will walk home with a single point in that L column. We'll see who it is and who joins G2 at the top of the table at 3-0 after the first week. Mad Lions versus Vitality to round out week 1.
And we have a pause.
You know what the best thing to say in a pause is, Vedi?
Tell me.
This is not because I was just told by our producer that I have to say this at some point during this game, if possible.
Okay.
Reminder, guys, we'll be back next week on Saturday for week 2 of the LEC. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, it certainly
Nodders,
is.
yeah. Vedi, you gonna sing today?
Stop. I just read the chat. And stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. No. People didn't come here to listen to me sing, okay? People came here to watch some League of Legends. I imagine that we're going to get the issue resolved very quickly.
It's just a peripheral issue that we are sorting out right now.
That's a unique one.
Yeah, definitely hasn't happened at all today.
So Nisqy got into game and then he said, "Photon, why no Jax?" Photon replied, "How?"
I mean, true.
I love watching them. I love reading Photon mainly because it's Perkz that told us that he's just been teaching him things to say in chat, and he doesn't always understand the context. And so he's written, "Hello, Professor."
To Hylissang.
Yeah, of course that. And now Perkz is giving context. In Korea, you're famous for your Rakan play.
Yeah.
And then Photon's like, "Yeah, in Korean known." And then Hylissang's like, smiley face.
He also said, "I've been told."
It's very wholesome right now.
I mean, but also, like, if that's not the most, like, swag thing you can say, I know I'm famous. Yeah, of course I know.
Yeah, and now I'm not going to read what was just said in chat. Yeah, overall, very wholesome between the two teams. When I have updates for you guys, of course, we will share it with you. The crowd has been electric, fantastic so far this weekend. Of course, we are in store for another 3 days of LEC action next week, starting Saturday.
3 days every week for the next 5 weeks.
Yeah, a lot of league, a lot of action, and a lot of stakes, Medic. Of course, for both these teams, they're in a great position right now, sitting at 2-0-2-0, which means that they're really setting themselves up to secure a spot in the top 8, where they'll then move on to the group stage, which includes best of 3s.
If you win 2 best of 3s, you are through to our finals. Top 4 teams get through. Obviously, the higher you place in the regular season, the better your seeding is going into groups, which means you might get your pick of the litter for the teams below you. First place gets to pick, second place gets to pick, etc., etc. I think we are hopefully getting back on into the game in a couple of moments' time.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, you know, poetry.
Okay.
Yeah. When I have a proper update, I'll give it to you guys.
Apparently, we're going to have something in our prompter in a second. So
Okay,
we
cool.
don't just make up all of the updates off the top of our head. We could.
I mean,
Recently, electromagnetic storms have approached Berlin. Unsurprisingly, this messes with Kaiser, who plays on a DDR dance mat. He's also fighting Melania at the same time on a separate PC.
Have you seen those people that play Elden Ring and other games just to like, they just intentionally just make it as convoluted as possible?
The one Cadril showed me today is someone's playing it with an EEG, which is like a brain electron, like it scans your brain waves, how much electricity is in different parts of your brain.
Cadril probably couldn't
absurd
use
to me.
that one.
Because it's just everything's firing at once. It's so much.
Yeah, that's what I
activity
meant.
and
That's
stuff.
totally what I
At
meant.
30 seconds into the game, Kaiser reported issues related to peripherals that prevented him from moving into lane. As we are not yet at a game of record, League officials are remaking the game to permit him to enter lane with the rest of his team.
Yeah, so basically what that means is normally what happens is at level 1, people group as 5 and then they rush through bot lane to try and contest that level 1 ward. Because Kaiser couldn't move, he couldn't go with him.
Yep.
So...
It's like my solo queue teammates. One of them's, answering the door for a package. His mum just called in for lunch.
So basically, we're remaking the game so that, because basically if they'd shown up as 4 and then there was 5 members of MAD on the other side, that would not have been very good for Vitality. So the game is being remade. So while that happens, you can listen to us.
They don't have to listen to us. We're going to hand it back over to the AD in just a couple of moments' time. In fact, we're going to do it right now.
Bye.
Don't listen to us anymore. Bye.
Thank you. I am prepared because I asked people to ask questions in the case of pause like this. Now, I am going to be selective and look to keep it at least somewhat adjacent to the game.
Because you asked that like a few hours ago,
I
right?
did.
Because I've
Maybe
got Twitch chat
did I
right
jinx
here.
it?
I see it all, guys.
All right. One is actually apt. It says, asked. Oh, it's from MAD Lions. Who's the best Belgian on MAD Lions? That would be Nisqy. Although sometimes I don't know, he like supports France at the World Cup and stuff. It's not very.
That seems sus.
That is super
Imposter.
sus. As I look for questions.
Stop falling asleep, guys. No, wake up. Wake up.
Yeah, we
I
can
don't
hear
know.
you.
I hope
Let's,
so.
if we can, we'll get the draft up as well if I get to find relevant questions, because I don't want it to go completely.
Yeah, okay, hold on, because
this is a really good one.
Oh, okay, I'll let you do
K-roll.
that.
From Joshua. What macro strategies do the analysts think are most effective to split? E.g. Deathball, Teamfight Comp, Poke Comp, Vertical Jungling, Gank Heavy or Farm Heavy Jungling, Hyper Carry, Bruiser Only, Perma Bot Lane Prio, etc.
It's almost midnight. Relax.
I'm sorry.
It's getting close to midnight.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just heard. Okay,
you're
now
good,
I'm
you're
working.
good.
Now I'm working.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
No.
Macro strategies.
Yeah, so basically, there is examples, but what macro strategies do the analysts think are most effective to split? I think from what we've seen already, right?
Okay, macro strategies. Well, I think there's like basic fundamentals in League of Legends, like shifts is the easy one. Some pro players have different names for the later game shifts. In Excel and Fnatic, I think they call them demon shifts, which are like full 3-lane shifts.
What's a shift?
So a shift is just when you have like 1 person top, 4 people mid, they push in mid, move to top, and join them on top wave. A demon shift.
Shift to the top lane.
Right.
Yeah, a demon shift would be something like, you have like a 1-3-1. The first person pushes out top, moves mid, catches the next mid wave. The 3 people move bot and join the 1 guy on bot. It's like a longer version. This is just like basic fundamentals of League. But I think right now the game is just really Dragon setup focused. First the objective, base timers, 1 minute 30 seconds on Dragon, base, refresh wards, put wards down, base again, come back, make sure you're ready to redrop wards, flanks. I think Dragon fights are the whole game right now.
They are.
Making flanks around Dragon, you have 3 people. Most of the time, it's your jungler and your bot lane hovering around the pit. And then the both solo lanes, like a Cassidy, LeBlanc, whatever it may be, an Aatrox, Cassante, is coming around the side. So I would say that's it. I think if you look back to past iterations of League of Legends, it's very split push orientated.
Yeah.
Season 5, you had champions like Riven, Echo, Hecarim top. The Huni meta.
Season
where-
5.
Throwback. The
Wow.
Hecarim midi.
Yeah, where you have like a different strategy of I will push bot lane so hard that 2 people will come and kill me and you're going to rush Nash. And it's called the Huni Baron. So that was a different
I was
way.
going to ask, like, in terms of it being so dragon focused, etc., and the setups, if the drafts here fit the mark. But
Can we get the drafts
They
up?
disappeared
Look at those drafts again.
Can we get the drafts up
we
on
have
the
30
screen?
seconds before I'm going to toss back over to the intros and the game. So,
Okay, we're about to get into the
overall.
game.
Yeah, very close. So
We could just count to 20 together.
sure.
1,
2,
3,
3,
4,
7.
5.
No, that's
9,
not the order,
6,
K-Droll. You sound
7.
like Twitch chat
Okay,
now.
0. Let's get into the game.
Yes!
Now.
Kaiser. But they're not even 5-manning Vedi.
Oh, they changed the strat apparently.
Nesquik. Or Nisqy. Nisqy, I think, is actually.
Yeah, I think there's.
I think it's just Nisqy, not Nesquik. But anyway, we are into the game. Having a quick look across the board.
I love that K-Droll's solution was, how about we just count?
Wasn't that Ender?
What
Ender
was
suggested
it
counting?
Ender?
Yeah.
Oh man, I just love that that's like where their brains go to, you know. It's hey medic, let's just count.
Yeah, let's do it.
1,
1, 2.
2.
The thing is, though, we're in the game. We don't need to fill time
True,
now.
we
The
don't,
players
we
are going to
don't,
play
we
and we're going to
don't.
watch. Elyoya gone for the
Makes
blue
me
smite here on the Wukong. Gives you that extra movement speed as you
Oh, hello Nisqy.
get out of a bush. Nisqy and Perkz trading here in the mid lane. Nisqy has Corrupting Potion, so he actually wins out on this
Well-
trade. Also, he's Viktor.
He also has a shield on his
Yeah.
Q,
Yeah.
which is kind of like, he mitigated, I think, what, 2 autos from Perkz? And then also, the problem is, when Perkz, like, uses W, Nisqy walks out of range.
Level 1 is in,
Yeah.
not so much of a champion.
Yeah.
Oh, Carzzy here, trying to pull this wave. You want all the minions to attack the same minion, if you can, but they couldn't quite get that, and because Kaiser and Neon are here as well, didn't help with a leash. Really just want to try and get that level 2 as quickly as possible, which is what both these bot lanes will be doing. Perkz still trading with Nisqy. Neither of them have offensive summoners, but Nisqy still putting quite a lot of damage down.
Mainly just Nisqy trying to leverage his health pot advantage. And also he knows that, again, because of the shield on the Q, he can just often win out on a lot of trades. With Airy, he can just keep chipping away at Perkz. And the whole goal here is to try and force Perkz to TP as early as possible so that then they can look for a potential gank. We know that Elyoya does have a habit of playing around mid lane. We'll see if he does actually look for something. Right now he's doing a full bot side clear. Bo mirrors that on the other side. Often what we have seen from, well, a lot of junglers so far this split has been invades. And I was going to mention that Elyoya, with a full bot side clear and a pushing bot, he may look to do just that. Nisqy, this is the other advantage of trading all of your health away. It gives you control over the wave. He's going to get level 3 first. Perkz can no longer heal up. Elyoya should feel pretty safe in this invade. He's not winning up on the straight 1v1, but Hylissang is right behind him, which means the Bo is going to be forced out of his jungle, and Elyoya can look to steal away some camps. So already, off to a really good start from MAD. Elyoya looking to chip away at Kaiser. Don't think it's going to result in much.
And Kaiser will trade his health for Elyoya. Elyoya doesn't have any potions, so Kaiser can always just heal himself up a little bit. Looks like Bo might be going for a mid lane gank here, realizing that Nisqy had to push forward to try and get any pressure down. Bo, Q, Nisqy tanks a tower, flash forward.
That was bold. Of all the options Nisqy had, no, Hilly.
You don't have Ignite, Hylissang. Okay.
Can he kill them
both
both?
of them are low. Here comes Elyoya as well. Elyoya flashes forward, Decimating Smash is enough. Bo trying to get him under the tower, but Hylissang with the flash shield heal. It's a double for Elyoya in the mid lane.
I guess hashtag worth
Yeah.
from Nisqy. I mean, he even
burned
gets an
Perkz'
assist.
flash, you know?
He even gets an assist off of that, which means that he also gets 25 stacks contributed to his passive. Chasy and Photon now a bit of dance up in the top lane. But okay, wow. So when we get the replay, Nisqy has 2 options here. He can keep running up, and then he can choose to like flash away. And of course, there's still the gamble that Bo can collapse on him. But Nisqy's saying, I have a level advantage. I think that if I do Q, auto, E, that's enough to kill. But the E doesn't land, neither does the auto. But he does get 2 flashes out. So Elyoya and Hylissang are saying they don't have any flashes. Bo just tanked the whole minion wave. Bo thinks that with the shield from his passive, he can actually turn this one around. But then flash, shield in from Hylissang means that Elyoya gets a double kill.
Good start for Elyoya.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. And I mean, who do you praise here? Nisqy for his brilliant play?
I mean, the thing with what Nisqy did was he got both the flashes out, which means when Elyoya flash Nimbus
Right.
strikes, he knows that's going to connect.
So it's really a mid diff.
Yeah, it's really a mid diff.
I see.
Also, no, support diff is mid diff.
True.
Hylissang roamed. Kaiser wasn't able to.
True,
so
true.
Definitely a mid diff there. A support diff, I guess.
All right, well, the gold didn't really change that much.
No.
But definitely a big advantage gained for Elyoya. He now has his eyes on the top lane.
Photon has no flash, does have the ghost, has that little ward there as well that will spot Elyoya as he goes up towards these Krugs. Photon stops his back. No decision to go for a further extension of the fight. Doesn't want to stay around. Knows though that Elyoya is in the area.
What I will say is, like, this is what I was really excited about when watching these 2 junglers play, because they're really smart about how they move on the map. And a couple things happened there, right? Hylissang needed to go back to base, reset, same thing for Elyoya, which meant that Bo actually got back out onto the map first. Because Elyoya started with the bot side clear, it meant that Bo could actually contest these camps, and given that mid wave was pushing in favor of Perkz because of the stacked wave, along with the bot bouncing back in their favor, Vitality actually had control, over mid and bot, which Elyoya's like, I understand this, which means that my best play is actually to cross map, because Photon either overstays and I can get a kill, but if I can't, I can just steal away camps, which means I don't actually end up losing anything. And remember that Bo started on his top side as well, so those camps are going to be refreshed. So just overall, really great awareness from both junglers, recognize what they can and can't do on the map, making sure that they both stay relatively even and relevant. You can see that indicated on the farm right now. Perkz dives in, ults, Bo looking to secure a kill. Nisqy did, of course, invest that flash earlier on, which means that Vitality equalized the kill score.
Yeah, Perkz hitting level 6 first as well. Nisqy was just starved a little bit of experience earlier on, meant that he wasn't really able to do anything about that. One of the weaknesses of Viktor is his very low mobility. You only really get the movement speed from the Siphon power. Carzzy still trading onto Kaiser here. Exhaust goes down, heal used as well. Kaiser will flash away, Neon chipped away as well. The Vitality bot lane is forced to recall.
Carzzy having the Ignite, of course, means that he was threatening Kaiser, who was, well, it wasn't Kaiser that ended up using the Exhaust, it was, of course, Neon, but still, just goes to show that Lucian is just really strong, especially in the early laning phase. Lulu or Nami both complement him very well. Just set him up for success. So they will force the bot lane of Vitality back, gain a small advantage. Vitality was able to do the exact same thing in the mid lane. Bo and Perkz already showcasing that synergy. They were able to shut down Nisqy once again.
It's interesting to see Carzzy's sort of evolution from... It's only 2 games, so it's only 3 games now, but he was so much of a coin flip player. He was very aggressive. We expected lots of action, lots of deaths for him in the bot lane, and often actually he's been left a little bit on an island by MAD Lions throughout the course of the start of Winter Split, yet to die as well, which is something I think most people will be quite shocked at if you say Carzzy is one of the players yet to die after 3 games.
I mean, I think that Carzzy as a player has always been very controversial in the eyes of the fans. Let's not forget that he is a back-to-back champion alongside MAD Lions. And I think that like some of the best times that we saw Carzzy was internationally. Of course, last year wasn't the best performance for him on Vitality, but a lot of teams were interested in him. Based on the rumors that we were hearing, a lot of teams speculating, fans were like, why? He just didn't look good. But there always had to be something, right? Players had to have seen something that we didn't always get to see on stage from Carzzy. And like, if you ever have the opportunity to speak to Carzzy, he's a hilarious guy. He loves keeping the atmosphere positive, and mechanically, he's still very good.
Yeah, flash away from Neon. Kaiser, of course, doesn't have flash. Carzzy just needs a couple more orders from the Hylissang to get it. Bo here locked up in the mid lane, and Elyoya's going to flash away. Perkz still trying to trade the Chaos Storm, ticking away at Bo. Perkz flashes in, has one last Emperor to go forward. Meanwhile, Bo's able to kill off Hylissang as well, who went a little bit too deep as they were trying to chase Neon. Neon did fall, so it's a 2 for 2 so far across the course of the trade. Bo going in. He flash predicts the dash from Carzzy. Nisqy flashes forward again, but this one has about as much use as the last. Nisqy 0-3, Bo and Perkz are dominating.
Wow, that very quickly became Vitality favored. That was 4 kills. They got 2 in mid thanks to Perkz, they got 2 on the bot side thanks to Bo, and the mid jungle just coming up clutch for the side of Vitality. The MAD Lions bot lane were decimating Neon and Kaiser, but Bo was able to very quickly turn things around. Now MAD are trying to use this window to get something back out on the map, but it looks like Vitality's not going to give this one away for free.
Yeah, Neon respawned, went to the mid lane to try and push this out. Perkz doesn't have TP, Photon is already up here, but he's being pushed out on the top side by Chasy. Looks like MAD Lions will just back away, realizing that perhaps their plan had been foiled or spotted, at least by Vitality. Now Vitality with 5 members on the top side of the map should be able to secure this pretty easily. You can see Perkz slowly working his way down towards bottom lane to try and answer the push that is coming out from Carzzy.
Good movement there from Perkz, making sure that no farm is left wasted. The bot lane from Vitality can just go and catch the mid wave. Perkz with TP coming back up in about 5 seconds. Shouldn't really have too much to worry about. He should be able to hold his own in the 1v1 against the Lucian. But let's have a look back at this. So the bot lane from MAD, remember that they burnt the summoners earlier on. They know that they can win this 2 versus 2. The heal comes through from Hylissang. Good flash here from Carzzy, forces the flash out from Neon. And Elyoya is saying, hey, we can actually look for this fight to Perkz here. Realizes that Bo is right behind him, decides not to commit to it. The ultimate comes out from Bo as the bot lane is dying. Let's focus on this mid-fight, observers, as Nisqy's trying to do what he can to keep his jungle alive. Bo gets stunned up, and then he's just forced to disengage, and he sees that Neon is the one in danger. Not much that he can do about it, but he gets them both low as Perkz finds a kill, then ults on. Bo kills Hylissang. We have to immediately come back into the action as Bo has locked his eyes on Hylissang.
Cease and desist from Bo. Hylissang nowhere to go, gets caught out. Carzzy pops the culling down, but Perkz very happy to tank that.
The mid jungle is just popping off from Vitality this game. This was the Bo that was promised. Extremely aggressive in the early game. The moment he finds a small advantage, he is running away with it, and Perkz is happy to follow up. 3-1-4, 100% kill participation. But I'm just so impressed that Vitality was able to turn that small skirmish around. The fact that Perkz can basically find 2 kills. Now we see Photon looking to take down Chasy in the top lane.
Chasy has the flash, but Photon should be able to dash forward in a second. He's got that third Q as well. Chasy dodges to the side of it and will be able to escape.
Photon just chilling in the top lane.
Yeah, both of them just chilling in the top lane. No one goes near it.
Korean matchup between Chasy and Photon. Mainly just not the priority this game, as Bo is just dominating the jungle matchup right now. Keep my eyes on what their plan is right now. We know the dragon is up. MAD brought their bot lane up towards mid. The main reason why you do this is to help you gain priority in the lane. We've already seen how dominant this Lucian can be in the isolated matchup, so we can force them back, gain control. Keep your eyes on Bo. He's hovering around, doesn't have his ultimate just yet.
Hylissang just ticked over to 6 as well, so it's a good time for MAD Lions to try and do something. You can see Kaiser only halfway towards level 6 himself. That ultimate can be very impactful in a fight. Bo's going to put down the Herald. Carzzy's going to try and join the rest of MAD Lions.
Very good from Bo. Just creating that point of pressure. If they can't get the Drake, it doesn't matter. They should be able to get a number of plates funneled into Neon. They'll take the exchange. Neon's going to do what he can to get more damage down. And now MAD have to fight their way back into mid lane. They're likely going to have to take the long way round. Bo's going to disengage from that one, which means that not quite. But regardless, I think that Vitality's more than happy to make that trade.
Yeah.
They've extended the gold lead now to 2k, got good value out of the Herald. Meanwhile, you can see Perkz just so much control over the matchup. He's been, well, I say gifted, he's earned a good number of kills, which has put him very far ahead in gold. You can see a 400 gold bounty sitting on his head. I imagine he's got enough gold to get the upgrade. Let's have a look and see if he's actually secured it. There it is, Ludens. 12.5 minutes into the game. Perkz is incredibly strong. And I think he has a point to prove. Menek last split, he was someone that was in the MVP conversation. He was someone that was considered one of the best performing mids as Carzzy's pack gets interrupted. Perkz was a player that only needed one more win, remember, one more to get into playoffs, and then they lost 5 games in a row.
Yep. It was the 2.5%.
Yes, it was incredibly frustrating for Vitality, and Perkz, you know, he wanted to rebuild, start again, see what he could do with a brand new team around him, and so far at the beginning of the split, it is looking good. And we heard him on PGL talking about how he was worried that they wouldn't be able to perform, they were going to lose. Was it going to be another super week where he started off poorly, but this could be his first ever 3-0 on Vitality for a super week, because we'll have more super weeks.
Yeah, every week is a super week. So.
But still, for Perkz to get that, it's definitely going to fill him with confidence and show us the potential of what this Vitality is capable of.
Also, that shows the synergy between him and Bo. We heard the voice comms yesterday of Perkz calling to finish the Baron, Bo saying no, and Perkz, you know, respecting the call, the team respecting the call. It's always good to see that amount of synergy early on. 3,000 gold now, the lead for Vitality. And although we have been singing Bo's praises this entire game, I will highlight the fact that he decided to rush the Chempunk Chainsword here. We see a lot of Vi's rush this, and against no healing on the enemy team, I'm going to say I think Black Cleaver may have been a better decision here. Haven't done the exact maths, but when you have physical damage coming out from the Ezreal and physical damage coming out from the K'Sante, Black Cleaver does give you relatively similar stats and some of that armor reduction as the game goes on.
My understanding of the logic is that it's like...
It's a good spike.
Well, originally it was extremely cheap.
Yeah.
So for the value that it gave, it was worth the stats, but then they increased the cost of the item. And I know that that topic has still been under debate, but...
It's still a good item. I'm just, can you optimize? Is there something slightly more efficient? However, when you're 3-1-4 and your team is dominating, the absolute efficiency of an item doesn't really matter too much. You can just team up alongside that Azir and sweep away anyone that you want.
I mean, hey man, like, if it's Bo, I have full confidence that if he went full Valée, he could do it. But Elyoya has his eyes on Photon.
Oh, great all out there by Photon. Uses the Unstoppable to dodge away from the Cyclone, escapes the gank up towards the top side. I can only assume that was just perfectly timed by the K'Sante in the top lane.
Just the Ghost as well will take him to safety. Overall, Photon is able to dodge away from the first gank that has been thrown his way. Perkz going to use that as a window to get the push. Looking for a fight onto Nisqy. Won't quite be able to close the gap. Should be able to secure this wave and look for a reset. Does have the TP available now, of course, unleashed. As MAD have their eyes on top.
And I think this is a question we had about MAD Lions. They played SK and Astralis so far, and both those games were convincing, but when you put them up against a slightly higher caliber of opposition, would they be able to have those solid early games, get those early leads, and then take over the map? Here, Vitality have put up a very strong fight, currently well in the lead, and now MAD Lions have to show us that they can fight from behind it with this team fight-orientated composition.
Let's see if they can do it. Neon doing his best. He did struggle a little bit in terms of the isolated 2v2, but farm's still very good. Of course, Ezreal much more of a scaling pick relative to the Lucian. Have my eyes on the Dragon, spawning in about a minute's time. Mad Lions right now do have a slightly better position. You can see Hylissang going back to base, going to replenish those wards. TP is available for Chasy, not quite for Photon. I expect him to push out this top wave and then start making his way towards bot side, but maybe they don't want to fight for the Dragon at all. Of course, this Herald is up, and this is the area of the map where Vitality do have a lot more control. I don't think Bo is going to be that scared yet. As he's doing that, should be able to secure this. The big question becomes, will Vitality then look to fight for the next Drake? They can drop this Herald mid once again, secure that tower, create that point of pressure, and then maybe trade mid-tower for the Dragon. Instead, they could use the Herald to just guarantee that priority and then use this priority to move down to the bot side river. You notice as well, Elyoya already gained control over the bot wave, and they're making that trade with the bot tower alongside Nisqy, waiting for that wave to arrive. Vitality want to keep the pressure going.
Without standing all the way back. Taking its time, charging up here. Does yet to lose any health.
Look at Elyoya
Nisqy able to take a tower. Elyoya waiting for that flank position. He goes in. Bo immediately knocks him up. The Cullen coming down as well already. Hylissang is just dead. And so is Elyoya. Mad Lions tried to pick a fight, but Vitality were having none of it. Just punched them down. Perkz now sitting 5-1 and 2. Hylissang didn't get a chance to heal, to ult to flash in that fight.
Wow, Bo completely shut down Elyoya's engage. The flank looked good, especially with the arrival of Chasy, but it was denied before anything could even start. This will now guarantee Bo the Dragon. Chasy looking for something onto Neon, but unlikely that he'll be able to convert it into anything. And they even secured a top tower. Vitality just dominating Mad Lions, limiting every option that they have.
And 5,000 their lead, 17.5 minutes into the game. A lot of that will be sitting on Perkz, 2.5k ahead. That mid-jungle duo is just absolutely red. Mad Lions like a book. Bounties coming up for Mad, and every teamfight looks harder than the last.
Yeah, and I didn't even notice Hylissang disappear.
Yeah,
I had my eyes focused on Elyoya, because this flank looks so good, and you can see Chasy coming out from the left, but he gets interrupted by Bo. Perkz then just kills Hylissang. He then flashes away behind the safety of his jungler, who then basically just solo kills Elyoya. The chain CC coming out from Kaiser as well to assist means that Vitality just stomp all over Mad Lions. And this is one I think coming into this game, I said based on what we've seen from Mad, they look the more convincing coming into this matchup. Vitality have had a lot of shaky performances, but you're right in the context of the matchups. And we did say, like, you do have to take into context of the matchups, what will these teams look like as Mad Lions goes up against an arguably tougher opponent and Vitality maybe an easier one. But Vitality, they look dominant right now.
Clean.
And again, this is the Bo that was promised, the one where expectations were incredibly high. We'll see if he can turn this into a 13-0 streak in major regions. The mid-jungle duo looking incredible right now. Of course, the next major objective, not going to be spawning for a while. With all outer towers secured, Vitality, their main goal now is to try and creep that vision in ever so deeper into the side of Mad's jungle, stealing away camps, denying what they can from Elyoya. Bear in mind, he's only just ticked over to 11, while Bo is comfortably sitting in level 12 right now. And you'll start to see that here. Look, they have the push in the top side, they're looking to get push in mid, and Bo is just going to instantly use that pressure to say that this jungle now belongs to me, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And now that they've opened up that mid-tier 1 and chunked away the tier 2 as well, they can just push in a lot more aggressively. Had a bit of an issue because Kaiser was very slow on developing his warding item. It was only after that previous fight we saw that he was actually able to get wards on it. So now, because he has that extra vision, they can step a little bit deeper and make sure that they leave a lasting effect, that lasting vision line for the team. Mad Lions will try and clear it out just to make sure they can claim their own blue. Vitality seem willing to, you know, forfeit a little bit of ground. They know they're in the driver's seat. They know they don't have to over-force anything. They can just wait out the Ocean Soul if they want, or they can look for picks as Mad Lions try and secure any parts of their own jungle.
This is the shift that Pedro was talking about. Flash in from Bo.
Cease and desist. They're looking to try and kill off Hylissang as quickly as they can. They'll get him, but Bo a little bit deep here. Gets back underneath the tower, but he's tanking it. There's no minions there, and the shutdown goes over to Elyoya. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, there's a trade between the two top laners. Perkz goes down as well. Carzzy gets the shutdown. Photon losing to Chasy, but the all-out might be enough. Brings down the Intopos, and Photon misses the Q3. Chasy misses the wall-up. Photon still chasing forward. Chasy can't get the damage down. Photon wins it out.
Okay, so Vitality get far too aggressive on the top side of the map and give two big shutdowns down to Carzzy and Elyoya. But at the very least, Photon is able to get something back, leveraging the mobility that he has from the Ghost to sidestep all of the abilities of the Gnar and walk away the Viktor. Deciding not to push out that wave, going to reset instead. means that Vitality at the very least will win something else on the map, but a very risky play from Vitality on the top side that really they didn't need to force.
Yeah, and Carzzy now at 1.5k ahead is already at 2 completed items. Will be on his way to his 3rd with that shutdown. Corfields, pickaxe, and a cloak built for him. It's going to be incredibly strong in this next fight. We'll have a look at it because it is very much a force to try and kill off Hylissang.
Bo is saying we can just one-shot Hylissang. Doesn't quite land the Q. Then the heal comes through to mitigate even more of the damage. Meanwhile, the TP gets interrupted here by Photon. Chasy sees that as an opportunity to force a fight, but then as you rightly said, as Bo tries to disengage, the minions aren't underneath the tower, which means that he has tower aggro. Perkz also takes a tower shot, then gets knocked up by Elyoya, making it easy for Carzzy to secure that kill. The damage is so close here from Chasy, misses that Q. And then the sidestep for Photon's just making fun of him at this point. Like he's just so fast. Chasy doesn't have the damage, all of his abilities missed, and Photon walks away the victor.
It's hard to do damage when all of your abilities miss.
Yes, quite right.
But MAD Lions maybe see a lifeline back into the game. They're still 3,000 gold behind. Photon, no ghost on him, does have the all out. Not all the way through the terrain though, and now he's on the wrong side of the wall. Carzzy gets it. 400 gold goes into his back pocket. Lucian continues to get stronger and stronger. You're just going to call for the Baron here, MAD Lions. Maybe trying to pull Vitality all over the map. TP available for Perkz. You can see the pings down on him. True Shot Barrage goes down, and Hylissang only at 500 HP. Bo has the cease and desist. There's the TP. After the tower goes down, MAD Lions will accept it.
Vitality going to start this.
Starts up the Baron once again. Mad, you know it's happening? You got a ward there, you know now. You can see Neon's hitting it. 5,000 HP on it. Now 4.5. Chasy builds up the Mega Gnar. No flash for him means he can't get in. Bo still keeping it aggro. Can just dash out of the back of the pit, but can also dash forward. Buying time for the reset from Photon. Has that TP. 9 seconds on him. 6. We can count 2, Vedi. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Where's the TP going? Right into the midst of the team. Mad tried to turn the pick into a Baron. There's no way he'll get it, right? Surely not.
Elyoya goes in. And they stop it immediately. Elyoya flashes out. The cease and desist coming in. The culling not quite enough. And Bo lands the smite. Vitality for the 2nd time this weekend show that they can stop and start a Baron at will. They kill off the enemy jungler and they get Carzzy to boot.
What a beautifully played Baron from Vitality. Even at a numbers disadvantage, the way that they approached the fight, the way that they were able to get that poke down and then basically say, Mad, we're just going to stall this Baron long enough for Photon to come back alive, TP into the fight, and then with our numbers advantage and the fact that he will be full health while you've lost all your HP, it's going to be easy pickings. And like, look at this here. We're only going to see the second half of the fight where Elyoya tries to steal away, but you see all the HP bars from the MAD Lions. So much had been chipped away, and again, they just stop doing damage. They wait for information on where Elyoya is. The ultimate immediately comes down. And the culling from Carzzy, not enough to secure it. Very close, though, for the smite secure from Bo. Very well played from Vitality. The damage from Neon.
Takes Hylissang down to half HP. Dragon started as well for Vitality. Will be their 3rd of the game. No soul on the menu yet. Neon, Arcane shifting forward there. Elyoya loses about 1,000 health. It's a very tricky situation for MAD now because when you want to engage and you're getting poked out by an Azir, kept at bay by an Ezreal, it becomes very, very tricky. And as soon as you're low, you know that the Shurima slide can come in, you know that Bo can use the cease and desist, now also has the flash to get onto the backline with Baron up. Kaiser very happy with how this game's going so far.
That's why he was laughing. I was wondering where it came from. The ultimate now from Bo.
The chase in with the tidal wave as well. The tsunami maybe spelling the end for the MAD Lions here. Neon putting the damage down. The tower will fall. Photon goes down though. MAD Lions have found 1. Neon flat dashing forward with the arcane shift. Nard into the wall, but Carzzy has to dodge the true shot barrage. And even though MAD Lions are able to chip away the health bars of Vitality, they're not able to do any meaningful, lasting damage. Vitality might look for the win here, though Carzzy, very difficult to deal with. Can dash around, does have 3 items complete as well. Hylissang now joins him. Wild growth a possibility. Elyoya looking for Perkz. He'll slide his way back to his bodyguards. Hylissang.
Don't do it again! Oh, he does it again! Perkz just one-shots him. The KDA is being padded out by Perkz. He'll hit 10 kills. And Hylissang hands another one over.
I mean, that was a Shurelia's.
You know what?
That was a play of the day.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Yeah. The first one I'll give him. He wasn't expecting the damage.
Yeah, but the second one, he sprinted into it, man.
The
Like,
second one, he
He
said...
literally said, let me go faster
he literally
towards my
said,
death.
you know that meme, I ain't heard no bell? Yeah, well,
I mean, that's unlucky,
I feel like
yeah.
the bell should have been rung right here, Hylissang. He took a lot of damage there. Bo with the immediate follow-up. I think this was a bit of an overcommitment from Neon. He was like, yo, I want to get involved in the action. Photon gets separated from his team a little bit. The focus from Carzzy. The damage is good from Carzzy. His positioning as well. But then Chasy just gets wiped off the board. Perkz is just doing so much damage. There's very little that MAD can really do. They're just popping their wave clear, doing what they can to hold the line. And then we're just waiting for Hylissang to respawn at this point. And here we go. He's just like, guys,
zooming, boys.
guys, we can fight this, we can fight this, we can fight this. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Here we go. Shurelya's engage, engage, engage.
Yeah.
And Perkz is like, yeah.
So something Yamato did say on Euphoria is Hylissang is a player that will see the way you win the game in that moment, and he'll go for the play even if it's suboptimal. He's like, maybe he thought, if I can get a Whimsy down here, if I can stop them from recalling, that's the only way we win this game. So credit to him for the thought. Some discredits for the way it played
Man,
out.
if you don't love Hilly at his best, wait, if you don't love him at his worst, you can't.
Hilly flash polymorphed, man! I love you, Hylissang! I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you! Was it after Reckless or Hilly as the all-out comes out? Chasy chased off towards the back, and now 5 members of Vitality quickly surround him. Chasy will flash across the wall and manage to escape, but only delaying the inevitable you have to feel. Super minions pushing in the bot wave. The Nexus tower falls. The inhibitor tower up towards the top side. The next target for Vitality. An 8,000 gold lead. Vitality still very healthy as they go towards the inhibitor tower. They will take it mid lane. They want to try and clear out. MAD Lions will catch that wave, try and stop the bleeding somewhere, try and put a tourniquet around it. When your leg's being chopped off, the tourniquet doesn't help too much. And MAD Lions are well and truly bleeding.
Vitality, they're just going to disengage. They know the Baron spawns in about a minute's time. Get the resets off. The damage has been done. The siege will end, and MAD will be given a moment of reprieve. But we know that this moment, the dawn arrives. Vitality will be at the gates once more, likely with a Baron buff in tow. The Ocean Soul. Sorry?
Do you know Grond?
No.
It's a meme in the Lord of the Rings fan community. It's just the battering ram they used to break into Minas Tirith. Grond. Big wolf's head.
Yeah, and I imagine that Grond will be Photon this time round. Or perhaps Perkz, depending on your perspective. The Magi is a little late for that one, Perkz, but fair enough, I respect it.
Cost efficient.
He has told me that he's enjoyed reading recently. See how many pages of his book he can get through. Gonna catch that bot wave. They don't really care about the top wave. They know that that's gonna keep pushing him with the super minions. Again, their priority is actually not the Baron here. It is the Soul. Elyoya looking for an avenue in, but Bo is not gonna give it to him. In fact, the collapse is gonna come through. Here's the ultimate.
Bo looking to get that E out. Elyoya tries to dash away. Cyclone coming in with the cease and desist into the bubble. He stopwatched that. Bo now dashes back in immediately. Elyoya is just deleted. Next up, Bo continues to chase forward. Perkz sliding in as well. Chasy low. Photon dashes in with the Q3, and Nisqy is rooted for days. Up next is Carzzy. Hylissang 2. Only Chasy is chased away, but the True Shot Barrage dash. Photon, how many more dashes you got? Not enough. Perkz will take it instead. Vitality in dominant fashion end out the week undefeated and join G2 at the top of the table.
A 3-0 week for Perkz' new team. He wanted to keep the expectations low. He wanted to make sure that people didn't overhype this new roster, but can we be hyped now?
I think we can be hyped,
3-0. This team is delivering. And how can we not be impressed with this mid-jungle duo? 11-2-6 was the scoreline for Perkz. But it really was him and Bo in the early game that was just tearing apart MAD Lions. The fact that they were able to get 4 kills after punishing... Well, I mean, remember that their bot lane just died. And then they were able to convert that into 4 kills was just crazy. And Bo and Perkz putting on a clinic in this game.
And they died to Elyoya twice earlier on as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, Elyoya was 2-0 to start the game. Couldn't really make it work. They really punished Nisqy in that mid lane. He was a sitting duck after burning his flash early on. MAD Lions, of course, relatively good week for them as well. You know, sitting at 2-1, a 66% win rate is a good result after week 1. But a lot of things to watch for from this game. Their wins against SK and Astralis perhaps a little bit of a distant memory now.
Photon somewhat overwhelmed with the fist bump, the high five system that is now beginning. But yeah, I mean, huge props to Vitality. Sets us up beautifully for the eventual match between Vitality and G2. No idea when that is, but
It is next Monday.
oh, a week from today.
Yeah, Vitality G2. Vitality have Astralis and SK before that. So.
I mean, expectations are they can keep this win streak going.
5-0,
right?
5-0.
Yeah,
Oh.
potentially, we'll have to wait and see.
Maybe go to Miami for that game.
Stop it. But overall, like, really impressive stuff from Vitality. Continue to be impressed with what they're able to showcase.
Yeah, definitely.
And their Barons,
Cleanest
right now,
Barons in the league.
outside of G2, who
Well,
like don't really do
We
any
don't
Baron
really have to
setups.
see them. We don't have the tape
Like
for
the
them.
way in which Vitality have been playing around these Barons has been very, very good, and I have been nothing but impressed. Yeah, this team right now sitting at the top of the table, 3-0 alongside G2. Congratulations to Perkz. He's finally overcome the Vitality curse. He will find his first ever 3-0 with
Yeah,
Vitality.
The Vitality curse is more of it's a split long mindset. You know, we could get to the end of week 2.
Maybe.
And be like, hey, Vitality curse is back. Bo, Perkz, and Kaiser are your player of the game nominees. You can vote for them at LEC on Twitter. I mean,
It's between Bo and Perkz. You guys can vote for whoever you want.
I think Kaiser wins it because so many people are voting for Bo and Perkz. And Kaiser just takes
I
over.
don't think that's going to happen.
You know, it's like they've split the vote and Kaiser just sweeps in. Justice for support.
But there we are. That concludes week 1 of the LEC.
does.
We still do, of course, have PGL where we're going to hear more from the players. We have an interview coming up very soon. But 3 days of action-packed games. We're going to have more next Saturday, of course, starting at 6 p.m. But what a great first week back here at the LEC.
Yeah, it was great to be back, and we're going to hear more from one of our players who is also back in the studio. Kaiser is standing by with Laure. Or
Sitting, rather, for this last interview of the week. Kaiser, thank you so much for joining me. Congrats on taking down your former team.
Thank you.
How was it for you actually playing against them and, managing to grab this victory against the Mad Lions?
I mean, it was a game I was looking forward to the most, for sure.
course.
I mean, it's my former team, right? Like, for 3 years, I've been knowing these guys, and it's always been fun with them. So just beating them out, proving I'm better, I guess, right? Is super fun. I'm really happy now.
Did it help in the preparation? I mean, of course, players change over the years, even though Carzzy rejoined the team. But did it help knowing how the coaching staff sees the game and preps for game when you were prepping against Mad Lions today?
I mean, maybe a bit, but I think Mad Lions kind of changed as well. Like, I don't think they are the same Mad Lions as they used to be, right? For example, you can say Elyoya likes carry junglers, right?
Yeah.
But he played Seoane yesterday, right? To really good. He had a really good game on Seoane, for example, right? So I think they are like kind of a new team, so you couldn't really like guess what they were going to play. Like they would just pick meta, right? Like we just had our draft meeting. We didn't really take anything into account from like previous metas or like previous seasons.
Of course.
But yeah, we had a good read, I think.
And it worked out really well. And I want to say it's especially the objective setups that I appreciate from Vitality right now. And there's a specific replay that I would like to watch with you, if it's possible, the Baron replay. Because when we talked earlier this week about some setups and how especially Bo is shot calling some of the moments, I thought that your Baron setup was really well managed. Maybe we will get to it later. Yeah, this is the one. It took a while, but to talk me through how communication went there, because it felt like you were really patient taking this Baron.
So we knew that because of our superior range, we would just outpoke them. Like they had to kind of go into us, right? The bad thing was that I didn't have any wards left, so it was kind of scary because Wukong might have snuck around, right? Maybe he wanted to try and steal it. So me and Perkz just went around, tried to find him, tried to junk him out, right? And we caught him, right? Like they didn't really have that much vision either.
Yeah.
And we just tried to play it slow, like as slow as possible. The Baron cut kind of low, and Bo was not in the pit, so it was kind of scary in a way as well. But I think we had good coordination, what we wanted to do, and we had good patience as well. Yeah.
What was Bo's impact actually in this play and in micromanaging and communicating towards the rest of the team?
I mean, he was screaming that we shouldn't finish Baron.
Yeah,
like when he was out of the pit, right? Like he was ulting Wukong, right? And he was out of the pit, so he basically was just screaming at us, don't hit Nash, don't hit Nash, don't hit Nash. And yeah, that was his impact for sure.
That's actually what I thought. And we will get to listen to the communication from Vitality in the post-game lobby as we will see this replay again. I want to talk about Europe and the whole level we have in Europe right now. Overreactions maybe because we just had 1 week. But what is your gut instinct telling you about what Europe is going to be shaped like?
I mean, the top teams are for sure looking pretty good. I would say, of course, G2. I think everyone talks about them, right? I think they're really good. Like their early games are just crazy, and I think it's going to be a tough match against us. I mean, because we kind of know what they want to do, right? But the question is, can we stop them from doing what they're doing right now? Yeah, I think aside from G2, I think Koi is looking pretty good, right? They lost today, but it happens, right? And yeah, I think we have some pretty strong teams, and I think the level of Europe is for sure looking better right now. We'll see when best of threes, best of fives come, how people are looking, like, because there's more games, right? So maybe people get more exhausted, right? And but yeah, I think it's good practice.
And focusing a bit more on specific roles within Europe right now, I know that the desk was talking about jungle being the most stacked role, support coming second. Would you agree on that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think we have like a lot of strong rookies in AD as well. But I think we will have to see how strong they become, right? Because I don't think 1 week really shows what they can do, right? So we'll see with how AD carry is shaping up. But I think jungle support is for sure the most stacked. Like I don't think we have like any like really bad ones, you know. And I think the top junglers and supports can for sure match up internationally maybe as well.
I agree with you. And one last word, maybe we're going to have Neon on PGL with us a bit later. Anything you want to say to him or about his performance today?
Well, we kind of entered in lane for sure. I think we got kind of carried by our mid jungle. So maybe we have to review some of our gameplay today or like tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, just come back stronger.
All right, we'll see what Neon has to say about this in just a few minutes. Kaiser, thank you so much for the interview. Congrats on an amazing week for Vitality so far. We'll see you for week 2. And that's all for us on this side of the stage. We will be back in just a couple minutes for post-game lobby with Shox and Neon. See you soon.